This is just not it.
Yeah, I don't want to know what your coping mechanism is. If you have one, great.
I shouldn't see your coping mechanism in public.
Yeah, I keep mine to myself.
All right, let's read some super chats. Rhaegar Targaryen said, does he mean the movie with Sandra Bullock?
The Proposal.
Oh, did you ever see that?
I don't think I ever saw it.
I don't think I did either.
I think I did when it came out.
BMF Nate Dogg said, women posting their L's.
Haven't seen BMF Nate Dogg in a while. What's up, dude?
Hi. I don't know what he's referring to, though. Rhaegar Targaryen said, cringe of the day guy is totes voting for Kamala.
Well, he's never coming back.
Probably.
He's never coming back on this show, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's blacklisted now. Shane H. Wilder said, Mary finally did it. She broke everyone with cringe. Was that the worst one?
That was by far.
Is that the worst one?
I just
loved how like academic he was being about it. Like the fact that he had this like really well worded explanation for why. Like,
well, now we're up to like 2 things that are going to get this episode pulled. Between that and the Aiden Ross stuff, this episode's in trouble. So
yeah, we're on thin ice right now. Brewmaster Monk said he should have asked Trump to listen to the new Kendrick Lamar song.
Oh,
what
the Not Like Us
song? Oh, that one. Serengo Productions said, imagine putting your ability to commit baby murder consequence-free above your ability to afford groceries. Couldn't be me, LMAO. Well, it's funny because these are the same people saying, you know, I couldn't bring a child into this world, but they're actively making the world worse and less viable for people to start families. Shane H. Wilder said the Trump dance is better than the Kamala dances. Does Kamala have her own dance?
The TikTok one?
It's called The Cackle.
She just cackles. I saw that clip of her saying, like, everyone has to be woke.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Like, I don't even know. What was the context?
I don't know.
Do you think that clip just fell out of a coconut tree?
Yes, it did. Do one more.
Corey Anderson said that dance was so bad that they had to speed it up.
Yeah, they did. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Let's hold off on the rest. Let's move on then, shall we? Tori Spelling.
Yeah, so all of these famous Hollywood actresses who are not so famous anymore seem to be turning to OnlyFans to regain relevance. And most recently, Tori Spelling, on an episode of her podcast, talked about how this might be her last-ditch effort to be able to afford her 5 children's college tuitions. This is her last resort. She might become an OnlyFans celebrity in order to put her kids through college. First off, just don't pay for your kids' college.
She's the daughter or the granddaughter of Aaron Spelling?
She's insanely wealthy.
She was born into a $500 million family empire.
They cut her off or something?
She has now been cut off. She was very irresponsible with her spending, and yeah, she was cut off from the family fortune. So now she has to resort to digital prostitution to afford the college tuition of her 5 children. And she said this to William Shatner, who was her recent guest on Miss Spelling.
Poor William Shatner just had to be there for this absolute unraveling.
She was just like trauma dumping to William Shatner for no particular reason.
Everyone loves William Shatner.
Here was her selling point on this episode. Prepare to boldly go where Tori and Bill have never gone before. A conversation William Shatner himself calls historic. From pickles to anal, this episode gives new meaning to the phrase, beam me up, Scotty.
Why? Like, I just want you to think about something.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a lot of things in the world that you can talk about. Like, almost infinite. Like an endless amount. Look, there's a smoke alarm up there. We could talk about smoke alarms. We could talk about the TV in the background or the stuffed animals. We could talk about the lights. We could talk about the cameras. We could talk about literally anything other than enemas and anal.
Yeah, and OnlyFans.
Anything, and OnlyFans.
But unfortunately, that was the route that she chose.
Here's this
for this
clip.
episode.
So you've got numerous children going to school.
Yes.
And
expensive.
The university, which they will eventually go to, I'm here to tell you, is inordinately. I mean, it's just crazy.
I'm going to have to go on OnlyFans in order to get them into college.
You're going to have to do what?
OnlyFans.
He's like, what's that?
What does that mean?
Do you know OnlyFans?
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans.
No,
Stealing
what is
his
that?
innocence.
So, how do you describe OnlyFans? So, OnlyFans is a site. I guess originally it was more women in the field, not sex workers, but along those lines. But now actresses
Wait a minute.
do it.
Imagine having to give such a vague description to this guy, and he's just like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Like, he's like, "What is it? Is it a website? Is it
She's just
is
not
it a
explaining.
storefront? Is it
Sex workers, but along those lines, they either are or they aren't.
not that there's anything wrong with that?"
Or they're not putting out. They're putting out. They're looking for sexual adventures.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
But
can't
what
keep
you're
money to
saying
save
is
my
there
life.
is an app that you can go to get financial help, like GoFundMe.
No.
Well, isn't it? GoFundMe,
I think he knows she's
need
bullshitting.
help educating
He's like,
my
just say
kids.
it.
I need that.
Right.
Can we
so-
start that for me?
Well, I
Educating my kids about money so they don't turn out like me.
Right. Well, the other possibility is put your kids out for work, where they're hanging around eating off of you. Let them work.
Yeah.
No way.
Which is a fair boomer take to be like, they'll just be able to pay for their own college themselves.
Yeah, Tori
Working
Spelling.
a part-time job on the weekends.
Tori Spelling might be planning to start an OnlyFans to pay for her kids to get indoctrinated in college. But here's a novel idea. They don't have to go to college, or they can pay their own way. That's a possibility. But yeah, Spelling's potential move to OnlyFans comes after she's had a well-publicized financial issue in recent years, including stints staying at inexpensive hotels and RV parks in Ventura County amid cash flow troubles last year. The money woes stand in contrast to the Hollywood luxury that she grew up in, as her late father, Aaron Spelling, produced hit shows such as Dynasty, Charlie's Angels, and The Love Boat, as well as Melrose Place, Charmed, and Beverly Hills 90210, which she was on. But Aaron Spelling passed away in 2006, leaving behind a $500 million empire, with Tori's inheritance coming in at $800,000. Her brother got the same amount. Yeah. But earlier this summer, she and her children moved out of a $15,000 a month rental home, upsetting neighbors by leaving the interior and exterior of the home completely trashed. She's also said she has issues with hoarding.
Seems like this would be like a way cooler movie than the Britney Spears.
Well, she's just way less interesting and famous than Britney Spears.
Unless
so that's never going to happen.
I mean, this sounds way more interesting to me.
She said on her podcast that she had to have an estate sale in 2016 to settle an outstanding bill of $80,000 for 50 storage units she was behind on paying amid a time frame in which she was, quote unquote, broke. So she has been very transparent about having money issues and really just not being able to handle her own financial
Yeah, she's bad with money regardless. If you want to become a prostitute, go ahead. You will still be broke.
I guess, and the point is, she's saying, I have to pay for my kids' college. It's like, you don't have to.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
you can't, it's not within
don't.
your means
Yeah.
to do so.
Well, she's probably surrounded by people who say the same stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
You know?
I think that she actually just wants the attention from going on OF. She doesn't actually care
How
about
could you say that?
paying for her kids' college. I think that she's using this as her excuse to go on OF because she wanted to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's, I mean, not that hard to believe for a washed up
Yeah,
actress.
Because it sounds
that was
a lot
Nepo
better
baby.
to be a martyr than to be bad with money and selfish and doing porn or whatever she's gonna do. I don't know. It may not necessarily be pornographic, but
Yeah.
the insinuation of OnlyFans is not exactly like
Yeah.
wholesome.
She shared some other intimate details about her sex life with William Shatner, including details about how she performs enemas.
Again, why? Why is this conversation happening?
Dude, didn't she start her podcast with announcing her divorce?
Yes.
Yep,
we talked about
live
that
on the podcast. She called up her husband to tell him that she filed the papers on the very first episode of her podcast.
Dude, she needs to be stopped. Honestly, her kids probably don't even care about college. They're probably just like, Mom, please stop.
Like, please stop embarrassing me.
Yeah.
She said, like, she was worried about her kids being embarrassed by her, and then she does stuff like this. Yeah.
She's like, anyway, enemas.
Yeah, so let's take a look at that clip.
This one right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
You haven't tried an enema?
No, I've tried an enema, like before anal sex.
What?
What?
What? What did you just say? I tried it like what? I didn't hear the
I feel
next
like he's
phrase.
trolling her.
I said I've done an enema, like before anal sex.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Did that work?
Yeah.
You're on top. You're a top or a bottom?
I top from the bottom.
You what?
I top from the bottom.
You can't do that. You're a bottom. Well,
Have you met me?
You've only got the receptacle.
Oh, you're being literal.
Well, yes, aren't you?
No,
You're
not
being
really. It's
clitoral.
like I'm clitorious. Yes.
This is going to go down as one of the weirder. This may be historic. You haven't tried an.
All that just seemed like the fakest laughter you've ever seen.
From Tori Spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a very awkward interview.
Yeah.
This isn't an interview. This is just Tori Spelling like trauma dumping to her guest on her podcast. He thought he was there for an interview, and then she was like, "Do you want to know about my plans to start an OnlyFans and the procedure that I do before I have anal sex?" Like that's what he showed up.
He's like,
and
I don't
found
have a
out.
lot of time left on this earth. Please don't do that. Like I want to spend it.
Yeah, that's an hour he's never gonna get back. And I just know Shannon Doherty is looking down at her from Hollywood heaven and thinking, this trashy hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like she needs an editor, like somebody
Yeah.
like maybe avoid
publicist.
look, you can either talk about the OnlyFans stuff or you can talk about the enemas, but you can't have both. I'm sorry. You get one of these per episode.
An inside source said Tori is caught between a rock and a hard place right now as she is trying to figure out what her next job is going to be. She's looking into doing some more in the reality competition show world. Okay, stick with that. Do stuff like that. Or I don't know. She's probably
She
not.
seems tailor-made for a reality TV show.
Yeah,
Yeah, and no one wants to hear the daughter of a 500 millionaire complaining and talking about her financial
Well, no,
goals.
a whole thing about getting cut out of the will and then having to rebuild life for yourself is actually a great story.
Well, that actually
too, though, right?
that happened to Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Paris Hilton was cut off of her own family fortune, and then people didn't even know that at the time, but she used her name and her brand to build her own empire, and she is now like far richer than she would have been if she just continued being a nepo baby. And that's cool. Like
Yeah.
I applaud that.
Again, that's a great story.
But she
Also,
didn't have
that-
to turn to the most low life behaviors
That reminds me
to
of-
make a name for
Right.
herself.
Well, I mean, she got dragged for her sex tape.
The most annoying thing in the world, I've decided, is when celebrities LARP at working for fast food places for photo ops.
Are you talking about Lana Del Rey?
Okay, you can't hate on Lana on this podcast.
It's
not
that
allowed.
wasn't planned though, or at least it wasn't done by a production company. So it's
Yeah.
I remember there was one. So there was one. It was either of Nicole Richie or Paris Hilton very recently, or it might have been both of them working at some fast food place. And then I remember
Really?
one just like a couple of months ago where like Livy Dunn was like, yeah, if I wasn't like a world famous influencer, I'd want to work at a Raising Cane's. So she's like, cutesy goes and works to shift at a Raising Cane's. And I'm like, everybody hates you there. Like they won't admit it, but they hate you.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it's that they're making fun of people
No, they're
who
not,
have
though.
jobs
That's-
like that?
that's-
Or
They're
what's annoying.
fantasizing it. They're saying, "Oh, it would be so easy to not have to worry about being famous. I wish I could just be the drive-through
Like-
girl at Raising Cane's that I get."
And you're just like,
my
you
chicken
know,
from once a
the
month.
person who works the regular job, there's just like, maybe they have to pretend to like you, but they're just like, whatever, slut.
Well, okay. It makes sense that Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie would be doing that because they did The Simple Life together. So that's the type of thing they did, and people loved it. They like went and worked on a farm,
Yeah.
and they
get a
worked
pass.
office jobs and stuff like that, and they
The
made
illusion around
themselves
those
the butt
things
of the
is-
joke, right?
Yes, but that's not the joke anymore. Now it's just a weird type of grandstanding.
Yeah. I mean, I would still rather do that than start OnlyFans, but
But they're not doing it for money. They're
lesser of
literally
two evils.
They're literally doing it as a joke. They're doing it for a photo op. So look at so and so working at this drive-through, and it's like,
it's
oh,
like
look,
if
that's-
Taylor Swift worked the Chick-fil-A drive-through for a day.
Yes, that's exactly what it is, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit like condescending for them to, LARP as one of the common folk.
That's what I mean.
LARP
Yeah.
as one of the peasants for a day.
Wasn't that
just
so
for the
fun?
novelty of the experience?
Oh, you had fun. You gonna come back tomorrow? No.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Yeah, I have a red carpet to attend, but I would love to.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's ironic that Tori Spelling, postured as, being a loving, caring parent who didn't want her divorce to have blowback for her kids' social lives at school, because she said, her kids were getting made fun of and bullied at school because of all of the, stories about her being a mess in the media. But then she doesn't do anything to clean up her image. She just keeps going lower and lower.
Yeah.
And doesn't make any effort to be respectable.
She kind of embodies all the negative stereotypes of an heiress. Just
Right.
very selfish, has never actually had to work hard a day in her life. So instead, she goes on podcasts and
She should
tries
get a
to say
realtor's
edgy
license.
things, She should what?
Get a realtor's license.
Right.
That's the next step.
With the rest of the former Playboy models.
Yes.
Yeah, how about instead of OnlyFans, it's the real estate fans site,
Yeah.
Make a loungewear brand.
That's literally there was like this famous skit where this girl's crying and she's like, I tried to do OnlyFans and I couldn't. No, I have to get my real estate license.
Yeah. For most people, there's no money in OnlyFans, but if you have a name, that's kind of what launches you into the top 1%. So I hope she doesn't go through with it. I hope it was just a joke. It's stupid if she was actually planning to do that, because there was this concept back in the day that you would be responsible for paying for your own education.
Yeah.
These days, she should be discouraging her kids from doing that altogether.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.